Welcome to the Biz Builders Podcast, where we believe building the business of your dreams can change your life. I'm your host, Sandy Patterson, former teacher turned certified life and business coach. After 14 years of teaching, I took a huge leap, left my job, and built 2 successful businesses with no business or sales background. Now I'm living the life of my dreams, and I'm ready to help you do the same. You're in the right spot here if you're ready to dig into not only the strategy of business building, but also the belief in yourself that building a business is possible. You're made for this, and you've got exactly what it takes to create the financial, time, and location freedom you're craving. Over here, we value progress over perfection. We embrace being uncomfortable, and we believe that anything, literally anything you want, is possible for you with the right strategy, mindset, and support. You'll also hear inspiring stories here and, of course, failures of women who are doing the same thing. The whole idea is if she can do it, so can I. Thanks for being here. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. So freaking happy to be here with you today. It is Thursday, and I had an amazing call this morning it was just a connection call, just a coffee chat to chat and get to know each other. And she asked me a really, really great question. And I want to share my answer with you today because I think it will help you. Hello, Liz. Good morning, or good afternoon to you. It's almost afternoon here. We just got back from a little family road trip vacation for my husband's birthday. We went out to the desert for a couple days, and then we just celebrating the end of summer. We do it every year. We just spend basically the whole entire day in the pool, which is so fun. And it was just so nice. I was reflecting on like the old version of me, like the 5-year-ago version of me who was still teaching, who would be at this point of, the end of July, getting ready to head back to the classroom and be feeling like just so anxious and so nervous about heading back and all the things that needed to be done. And I was just reflecting on oh my gosh, this life that I get to live now is just so incredible, where I get to take Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm still supporting my clients because I've built a business in a way that allows me to do that, and it allows me to travel and spend time with my family and also do what's important to me. And I've come to call that life on purpose. I am literally living life on purpose. But going back to the question that she asked me this morning, she was like, Sandy, I see you, I'm in the beginning of my business. And a lot of the women that I work with are in the beginning-ish phases of their business. They're either, just starting off, or they've been in it for a while. They're seeing clients, they're doing things, but they feel like things are not moving as fast as we would want them to, right? Which is totally normal. But she asked me, she said, I see you, you've been in your business for a while now. I see you moving and shaking and doing all the things. At what point for you did your results actually start to what happened? What was the turning point for you when you felt like you were showing up and doing all these things? And when is this going to start working? When is this going to happen? And I had to take a minute and kind of reflect on it, because I was like, this is such a great question. And there's no moment. There's no light switch that was flipped and it was oh yes, there are all of the results. But it was really 3 things that drive now everything that I do with my clients, in every container that I create, in any offer, and whether it's my mastermind, whether it's private coaching, whether it's a mini group program or anything. It was these 3 things that are the thread that I weave through everything, because these were the 3 things that really allowed the results for me to start popping off, right? And I know that's what we all want. It's why we're here. And we're not just here for the results. We're here to make an impact. And the results are just a manifestation of the impact that you're making for your people. And I know how important that is to you. So the first thing that and I shared this with her this morning, I was I really had to redefine what success meant for me in my business. And now I call this values aligned strategy and a values aligned business, because what ends up happening, and this was me, so I'm not calling anybody out, but this is just saying, I see this often. We get into business and then we start to just slap on any type of any strategy that we see happening for anybody. So okay, on Instagram, I saw her doing this, so I'll try that and I'll do this because this girl said that this worked. And I saw an email that said this girl did this and this must be the answer. And So we're basically taking all of these strategies and just doing them because we think, well, that's what everybody else does. Sometimes we just think, well, I don't even know any other way, so we'll just try this. We're in that like testing phase of seeing what actually works. So one of the biggest shifts for me was like full stop, like, hold on, Sandy, like, if you were to ask me a year into my business, and I was the person too at that year marker, that people would reach out to me and be like, oh my gosh, Sandy, like, you're so confident, you're so great at showing up, like, you're just so amazing, like, you're doing such a good job, you're crushing it. And on the back end, I wasn't getting results. Like, I wasn't getting people reaching out. I wasn't getting people signing up for my offers. I wasn't making a ton of money in my business. I was not making an impact. So there was a discrepancy here. And so when I really sat back and I was like, wait a second, how are you actually defining success? Are you defining success based on your values, or are you basing your success based on what everybody else shows or says, or like 10K months, or like this, that, and the other? And when I stopped, that version of me, literally the reason that I started my business in the first place is because I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to feel fulfilled at the end of the day, and in a way that wasn't going to drain me. And I wanted to be more present with my family. I wanted more space. I wanted more flexibility. I wanted to be present for my kids. I wanted to be able to pick them up from school and like drop them off at school. It's like, lame as that sounds, that's literally all I wanted. And so if that version of me at that year marker of my business, and I'm sitting here thinking, gosh, like, I'm like not successful. This is so like, like, why aren't things working? Why aren't things happening? Literally the moment that I started to redefine what success looks like for me, success is I'm making an impact. Maybe it's not for hundreds of thousands of millions of people, but the people that are in my space and that are in my world and that are here with me, I'm making an impact on them every day, just simply by showing up and being me. Once I shifted success to that, then everything started to change. Same with, if let's say 3-year ago version of me were to look at you now at that year marker in your business, she would be so freaking proud and so thrilled, because you have created more space, you have created more time, you have created this presence and this white space with your family that is literally priceless. So that shift there was like huge. How am I defining success? Am I defining it by the numbers, by the amount of clients I have, by the amount of DMs I'm getting, by the amount of people that are reaching out, or am I defining it by what is important to me, my values? And so when I shifted that, really, that's when the results started to kick in. And it's funny because that, yes, was a big part of it, but also the strategy that I was implementing. Like, I'm looking at some of the things that I was doing at that year marker, and when I look back, I'm like, Sandy, like, that was not sustainable, and it also wasn't very fun for you. So like, is that what you want to put in place now? Like, you want to keep pushing and keep grinding and keep doing these things that like don't really fit with you and your like family and your way of life, where it feels like you're pushing a rock, or like not a rock, a boulder up a hill. Like, every time I show up, like, I don't know if I can do this every time. Like, and yes, that's why I'm like, I get it, like the Nike thing, like the just do it thing, but also that's not sustainable. Like, yeah, we can push through at like for a day or for a moment or for whatever it is, but that's not sustainable. And the women that come into my space, they're not in this to like just be like, oh, this is fun, or like, oh, we'll do this for 6 months or a year, and then no, like, we are here to build actual businesses that create a legacy for our families, and also that leave a massive impact on our clients. And really, it's more of like a movement than just like a coaching business, right? So shifting into that and being like, okay, if I am setting the stage right now for how I want to feel in the future, like 10 years down the line, or how I want to feel 10 years down the line, this isn't it. Like, this is not where we want to be. So in came the values aligned strategy, where it's like, okay, let's look at what I'm doing and let's look at how it's feeling. Let's look at the results you're getting. And then let's see where we can kind of play with this and mold this and tweak this, not to do what everybody else is doing, but to do what feels best for me. Because you hear me say this all the time. There's no right or wrong. There's no right way to do anything in business. You kind of just got to go for it. I always say it's like parenting. You kind of just got to do your thing and cross your fingers and hope for the best. But strategically, my strategy had to be aligned to my values. And so now, excuse me, everything has shifted in that sense. Everything that I do now it doesn't feel like pushing a boulder up a hill. It feels easy. It feels light. It feels fun. It feels like I just get to show up and be me. So that was the first part of when results actually started to shift for me. The second part of this is the self-trust, right? Insane business requires an insane amount of self-trust and trust in yourself. And we were talking about this morning, that in business, especially in the beginning, especially first couple of years, you're doing so many things. You're grinding, you're showing up, you're hustling, you're consistent, you're doing the things with not a lot of results to show for it. And that can feel really frustrating. And that is what takes so many people out of the game, is that this I'm doing all the things, I'm showing up day after day after day, even year after year, month after month, week after week, all the things, and I'm still not seeing the results that I wanted. This is where this unstoppable self-trust comes in, where you begin to look, or I began to look at the version of me that already had everything that I wanted, the full client roster, the impact, the programs, all of the things. She already had what she wanted. How is she moving? Because there's a gap. There's a gap between how you're moving now and where you want to go, where you want to be. And I was so sick of hearing people, you guys, literally so sick of hearing people say, just be her now. Just be her now. Act like her now. Dress like her now. Okay, that's great. But actually, how do you build that? How do you do that? I can wear an outfit, but that doesn't actually change. I mean, I guess it kind of does change the way you move, but how do you actually do that? So what I've done over the past 2 years is come up with 14 different markers that are necessary in business. And we look at where are you now? And I did this all on myself. And this is why this conversation this morning, I'm reflecting on it, wow, you've really come a long way, and you've come really far. And I really just am I gotta share this with people. People gotta know this, because when we're scrolling Instagram and we're seeing all this success, seeing all these people make it look easy, seeing all these people say, oh yeah, it just fell into my lap and then it was successful. It's so frustrating when you're out here busting your ass to make it work and it doesn't feel like it's working. So I created these 14 markers that what we do now is we look at them and we go, okay, where is the gap between this certain area? So we'll just take one, just one of these areas. So your pricing. You say you want this, but you're actually doing this inside your pricing. What is the step that we can take? The small step, not the you're going to charge $100,000 for a VIP day tomorrow, but what is the next step that you can take to start to move in that direction, to begin to fill that gap, not just let's be her now. So that was another really big thing. And again, this didn't all just happen in one moment and oh, yay, you're there. It's this has been work over time, but that's what business takes, right? It takes work over time, consistency over time, even when you're not seeing the immediate result. I always say it's like planting a garden. You don't plant a seed and then go out the next day and you have this beautiful fruit tree that's producing fruit. No, you go out, you plant, you water, you tend to it, you make sure it's getting the sun, and you pull the weeds, and for most of the time, there's nothing there. You don't see anything happening, but you still keep showing up because there's a ton of stuff happening under the surface. And that's exactly what is happening in business for anyone that's sitting here saying, I have literally consistently shown up and nothing's working. I'm consistently doing X and it's not working. It is working. You just don't see it. You just have to have that trust. And that's where that unstoppable trust system with the 14 markers came in to begin to fill the gaps between where you are now and where you want to go, but not just by ooh, just be her, go wear red lipstick and you're good. It doesn't work like that. And then the last thing, the third thing, well, actually, I guess there are four things, but the other thing, and I talk about this all the time, you guys, is the perfection piece of it, is releasing the perfection and the people-pleasing part of business that we step into, and we want everything to be perfect. We want to know the answer. We want to know the result. And of course, there's a lot that went into this part too. And it has been being able to turn that perfection, or what was perceived by me at the beginning of my business as a problem, into actually a superpower, into something that's actually working for me that I can leverage to help grow my business. That has been a game changer. And of course, the last thing, I guess this would be the fourth thing. The fourth thing is when I took just as much, I weighed just as much into sales as I did into my marketing. The first year of my business, I put all of my eggs in my marketing basket. It was send an email out to your list every week. So every week for 52 weeks, I sent an email out. Every week you record a new podcast episode. Did that for 52 weeks. Every day, Monday through Friday, you post something, you show up consistently. And remember what I told you at the beginning of this live, I did not see results because of those things that I did. So I was like, wait a second, what is missing here? And the missing piece was just as much weight, if not more weight, on sales as I was giving to marketing. So things began to shift when, number one, I learned how to sell. I learned how to sell my offer, what I offer, my coaching. And I also got really, really clear on what my revenue generating activities are. So many of the women I work with are working multiple jobs, are working part-time, are moms, are caretakers, are doing just lots of other things in their lives. We all as women wear hats. And we were laughing about this morning. We're there's never a moment where we're oh yeah, I have nothing to do here. Wow, this is so great. Never, not ever. So you have to get really, really strategic and very, very clear on what the revenue generating activities are. And oftentimes we mistake the marketing parts of it, the showing up on social media consistently, the email list, the website, the SEO, the podcasting. We mistake those things as revenue generating activities, but those are things that we create on the back end, and then we put them out into the world, and then it's out of our control. We wait until somebody clicks or likes or buys. Once I start to shift into, okay, what can I do to be proactive and to go out and sell? What are my weekly, monthly revenue generating activities? That is a moment I will say that's a moment. That's a moment where everything shifted and I was oh, I've just been focusing on the wrong things. So it's so important, especially with, like I said, women who are wearing so many hats and don't have all of this time just at their disposal to get super clear with the time that they do have, how to move the needle forward in their business. And so these are all things for me. I don't know about if this resonates with you. You got to drop something in the chat or in the comments afterwards, because I would love to hear. But these were the things for me that really shifted the way that I both move in my business, the way that I feel in my business, and also the results I was seeing. And so even today, you could look at this two ways. I could look at this and be oh my gosh, I'm totally crushing this. I'm having so much fun in my business. I'm making an impact. Or I could be I don't have as many clients as I want. I could focus on, it's really just a matter of perspective, and it all starts within you. And all of these things that I have shared today, all four of these things are all things that you have control over. You get to decide, and you get to look at them and see is this what I want? Values-driven strategy, a values-driven business. Is this where am I at now, and how can I start to fill the gaps? Not by totally dysregulating my nervous system, but how can I start to take steps to fill those gaps in these areas that are important and necessary in business? And then of course, turning perfectionism into power, and then focusing on revenue generating activities. Yeah, income generating tasks. Yeah, it's definitely my next thing. And it's so easy to mistake, or not, it's not a mistake. The marketing and the sales, they work together side by side. It's just the other piece of it that we kind of tend to avoid. We avoid it for a reason, right? Making content is fun. Sending an email out is fun. You're not really on the spot. The other things, you're definitely placed on the spot. There's a lot of room for rejection. There's a lot of room for no's. There's a lot of room for like eye rolls. And I say those things with like so much love because I've gotten all of those things. But I know now because of the other things, this massive amount of self-trust that it doesn't, like, it's all just part of the game and it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you. Liz, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so happy to see you here on Instagram Live. If you have any questions about anything, you guys always just drop them. You guys know I am an open book. And yeah, I love you all, and I will see you back here on Instagram very, very soon. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye. Thanks for listening, you guys. If you're ready to get your business going and making money and to step into that next level version of you, I would love to support you make that happen through strategy, mindset work, and my Cut the BS style coaching, because it's always better, quicker, and more fun to have someone who's already been through it support you. Shoot me a message over on Instagram with the word ready, and we can chat and get your questions answered about coaching and how I can support you. I cannot wait to hear from you.